Starting off, the death of Louis XIV in 1715 brought many changes in French high society. The elite quickly abandoned their court of Versailles for the pleasures of town life. Although French citizens still owed allegiance to a monarch, the early 18th century brought a resurgence of aristocratic social, political, and economic power. Members of the nobility not only exercised their traditional privileges, but also sought to expand their power. In the cultural realm, aristocrats re-established their predominance as art patrons. Hotels, or elegant private townhouses, of Paris soon became the centers of a new, softer style called Rococo. Associated with the Regency following the death of Louis XIV and with the reign of Louis XV, the Rococo style in art and architecture was the perfect expression of the light-hearted elegance that the wealthy cultivated in their lavish homes. Jean-Honoré Fragonard trained in the studio of François Boucher. Although he was accepted into the French Academy, he declined to pursue a public career as a history painter. Preferring instead to work for private clients, Fragonard developed a style that adored the charm and beauty of the private moments of the French aristocracy. He preferred to capture intimate, candid moments of town life rather than posed portraits showing off one's riches. In Blindman's buff, well-dressed men, women, and children play the familiar game in the kind of picturesque, overgrown garden that was popular with the aristocracy. This and similar light-hearted amusements were among Fragonard's favorite subjects, and he may have viewed the games as symbolizing the game of courtship. What is consistent in Fragonard's paintings are the gentle pastels and soft edges of his forms in the typical Rococo style. His environments usually have a hazy fog in the background which influences the edges of certain forms as mentioned before. What is unique about this painting is the inclusion of chinois. We can see this implication in the tree at the right. Chinois is the French word that broadly refers to a form of Orientalism in the decorative arts. This ornamentation is based on a Western fantasy that China is a place of dreams and dragons, but note that it is simply a form of embellishment, not an actual style, nor an era. This tree is a product of chinois due to trading partners in this historical context. It is interesting to see how not only were tangible goods traded with the French from China, but also artistic styles and symbols within the art world. Many Rococo paintings were quite similar to Chinese paintings of that time, but it was beauty without order or symmetry. The sheer profusion of the decorative motifs found in chinois flew in the face of canons of taste and the rules of art. The point is, the fact that this tree is in this painting proves this time in history. It mimics the shape of the trees of Chinese landscape paintings of that time, or simply of bonsai trees. Note, though, these Rococo artists did not understand nor use these symbols correctly, hence chinois being more of a fantasy style attempting to emulate the Chinese arts, but with the principles of the Rococo era in France. The reason for this conclusion is because trees were usually the subjects in Chinese art, while here it is instead a part of the environment. This tree extends from its roots in the foreground and curves slightly out of frame to the right, then back in and up into the background. Not only does it maintain the pink and white color scheme, matching with the ladies' dresses and umbrellas, but it also creates movement and an interesting composition. It does so by utilizing the Fibonacci spiral, where the focal point is the blindfolded man in the middle ground, hinting at the title of the piece. Overall, this proves that this tree serves a major purpose of this painting.